Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Podcast. We got Eric, AJ, and Rudo coming to you live as the Avs defeat the Carolina Hurricanes 6-4 tonight. A lot to talk about. 10 goals in this one. But first, you guys already got us to 100 likes. So thank you very much for that. We've got some winner shots here for you. We appreciate the 100 likes as always. Cheers, boys. Dr. Dubs is 5-0 on the season. So get your vitamin W. It's a fun one.
Love it.
I think yet another new way for an Avs to win a hockey game. Let me break it down for you in the 60-second rundown, and then we'll get into it. All right, Avs start out. I think they played pretty well in the first period. Special teams was kind of the name of the game, though. Both got technically Carolina's was even strength, but really it was a power play goal expired 1 second before the puck goes in the back of the net. And then the Avs get a power play goal at the end of the period. Then the magician in the second period gets things started. Logan O'Connor with his third straight game with a shorthanded goal. Things go back and forth from there. Carolina picks up a couple of goals, takes the lead back, and then the Avs explode for 4 unanswered goals in a row. And they kind of never look back. They're up 6-3 by the third period. And we'll talk about it later on the show. But the Avs have figured something out this season with the third period. This one wasn't a super dominant, control everything. It was just an absolutely nothing goes on in this third period, which allowed them an easy win. They do give up a garbage time goal to Slavin to make it 6-4. But pretty straightforward third. Not bad. This is pretty good. I got most of it in there.
Yeah.
I do want to rewind this back, though, because this was another different look for Colorado. Georgiev, not that great tonight. Not a knock on him. I'm not trying to say he was terrible or anything. It was just a game where the Avs did have to do some outscoring of their problems, something that they really haven't run into yet this season. Is this another notch in the belt for them? Is this them going, hey, we can continue to beat anyone in any style of game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was my number one takeaway from tonight was, you didn't get a wonderful night out of Georgiev. He made some big saves.
Yeah, for sure.
But if your starter is going to have an .840 save percentage, you're going to want to score 6 goals.
Yeah.
They did, so it's all good.
Some good math there.
But yeah, I think the takeaway here is, you had 2 teams that neither goaltender was locked in, and you got into kind of a shootout.
Yep.
Not so much in terms of the way the game was being played.
That second period was pretty...
It was pretty one-sided in Carolina's favor in terms of process, but the Avs just kept scoring on everything. So that just do be how hockey goes sometime.
Not wrong.
And so I do think that, you've played 5 games, and all 5 have been a little bit different. So, and they've won in all these different looks.
Yep.
That's the for me, my number one takeaway from this game is the 5th different style of game, and when you walk out of it 5-0, that can only give you confidence. Road, home, quality opponent, shitty opponent, none of it matters.
You're 5-0.
They're 5-0, and to be honest with you, each of these have been won. By the end of it, it was pretty comfortable. Every one of these
Sharks
games.
one was the only one that wasn't.
Yeah, and that was the one where you put 50 shots on goal, and it's like
you had no problems with your process that night.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So that's that's where I feel great about this. Is it's only positivity.
Yep.
I think you're gonna go in an 82-game season. Maybe you're gonna play 7 or 8 perfect games. I don't think you play more than that.
Yeah.
And when I say perfect games, like 60, like you just said, like San Jose, pretty hard to fault. I mean, oh my God. I mean, from the first minute to the last one.
Yeah.
There's one. Then you got about another 6 or 7.
Chicago game was pretty close to perfect too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had a great start. They're not going to be perfect. They haven't been perfect, but When they haven't been perfect, then Georgiev's been there to save their bacon. Tonight, Georgiev wasn't at his best, and then the offense was there to save his bacon. And that's what championship teams do, you know?
Yep.
So I like what I've seen. I do believe that if you're a coaching staff right now, you're like, all right, let's pack our bags up again, and then let's hit the road again, and let's go play some more hockey. And like we've been so good on the road, so let's go dominate the next week again.
Mm-hmm.
First goal of the game does go Carolina's way. You know, it really should. On paper, it's not a power play goal.
Yeah.
But at the very end of a PK, Carolina puts a play together. Did feel like you saw the Avs give up a lot of the middle of the ice tonight defensively.
I think specifically to that point, I felt it more on the PK than at even strength, where they, I think going back to last year, that unit struggled with that play, with that puck down low, and I think this is probably the next frontier of creating high quality scoring chances.
Is working from behind the goal line,
exactly, and because it just causes so many problems.
Yeah,
the goaltender's got to figure out his angle, and he's got to figure out how to defend it. You know, if the puck is right behind him, he can't see it. He's got to like get into his net and turn around. It's hard. It's hard for defenses to have their back to players that they're trying to cover if they're turned and looking at it, or it's hard to have their back to the puck and then be face guarding players. So it creates so many problems. And we see with the way that the Avs PK likes to defend, they have one defender come all the way out to that side.
They love defending out high on the side
and they
well.
And the way that they rotate it is that one forward is out high and the other forward is on the other, covering the backside. And then the other defender is kind of defending the guy down low with the puck and the man in front.
Yep.
And that creates complications. And on that goal tonight, you saw that first goal from Carolina, you saw Gerard collapse in to pressure the puck.
Yep.
And that left the guy open. That left Kotkaniemi open, and there was a slow rotation by the forward to come over there.
I think it was.
It was Lehky, yeah. And it's just a little bit of a slower rotation over there. And that's a bang play.
Yep.
That's not me faulting anybody. That's good offense. And the Avs have to pick their poison there. Knowing the result of the play, it's really easy for me to say, oh, Sammy needs to be a little less aggressive there and just try and take that space away. But, again, I know how the play resulted, so it's easy for me to say that.
Look at the goal at the end of the period where Mac puts it between a dude's leg, and we're saying, oh, my God, Nathan McKinnon's so good.
Exactly. For me, I just chalk that up to, my initial instinct is, I don't like that goal from.
For sure.
I don't like how they defended. But you have to, when the other team has more players on the ice, you have to pick something.
Yep.
And I thought that was just good execution by Carolina. And if I'm scouting the Avs looking for weaknesses, especially in a PK unit that is on fire right now, that's what I've picked out. And I've said, okay, this is what I want us to focus on, moving pucks down low. And the hard part is there aren't a lot of teams in the NHL right now whose power plays run that low on a consistent basis. They like to move it out high, use the defenseman to get involved, have one guy out high, two guys out high. And I think that is just as a pre-scout of the Avalanche, I'm going to try to exploit that.
Yeah, I think it's probably a reasonable take, especially with how well we've seen their forwards defend so far this year on the penalty kill. So,
well, I mean, I agree with you because I coach a lot of youth hockey, and I'm a big, I'm going to compare youth hockey to the NHL right now, so let's bear with me. I'm always like, go play below the goal line because you're making the Ds turn their skates. It's a different game.
Yeah.
When your Ds as a unit have their skates facing forward, it's a totally different game. It's easy. They're comfortable. As soon as you start turning their feet, it's over because now the plays behind them, it's tough. And I'm going to ask you guys, I don't know if you guys remember him because I'm older than you guys, but there used to be a gentleman that they called it the office, his office behind the net, Wayne Gretzky. He got a gazillion points from behind the net there. And I'm a big, firm believer that it is so easy to manufacture plays from behind the net or below the goal line. Of course, not everybody's Wayne Gretzky. I'm not saying that. But I'll tell you one thing. You want to get out of a funk, you want to get out of something, you go play below the goal line. And I think this is where you strike gold.
Just a really quick addition here. One of our listeners, Dayton Buchanan, he's written some stuff for us over the last couple of years. He does some work in the WHL and stuff. Sent me some tracking data that he did one year, a year or two ago. And it showed that teams generate
a lot,
monstrous percentages of scoring chances on plays from behind the net.
I agree.
And when that analytics work starts to get done at higher levels and teams that filters up the chain.
Yep.
I think that's one of those things that, you know, like the drop pass had to start somewhere, right? And I think that creation behind the goal line is where I think a lot of things could be headed next in terms of trying to create advantages, because it is so hard to defend.
This isn't statistically backed up, but I break down every goal the Avs score and every goal that gets scored against them. And one thing I've noticed over the years is when you do get pucks deeper into the zone, you see a lot more defenses puck watching.
Yep.
When that puck starts getting close to the net, everybody on that defense is looking right at that puck.
Oh.
And that's how dudes sneak to back doors. That's how dudes find open space on the ice.
You can say all you want, head on a swivel. But it's a different thing when you're looking at it and you're like, okay, where do I go? And then that half a second that you're looking at him, you don't see the guy behind you's not gone this side.
Yep.
By the time you saw it tonight on that goal, you and me were watching a game right before. Somebody put a top shelf there. Was it? Again,
We had like 3 games on.
no,
so I
the
actually
Florida
don't.
game, Lindell or whatever. We're like,
Oh,
remember?
yeah.
Same thing. Because he looks and the guy makes it back from behind the net.
checks
He
the
makes
wrong
that
shoulder
pass.
and
Wrong shoulder. By the time he gets back, he doesn't even know that this guy's got the puck.
By the time he got fully turned around.
That's right. And he still has his stick down. He still thinks I'm in good position on my stick, but the puck's in the net. He has no idea. So when you have to turn, it's a different game.
Yep. It's a whole different animal down there. Eventually, you get to the Avs power play goal at the end of the period. Huge credit to Ryjo here, not just for scoring the goal, but he wins the faceoff with 19 seconds left on a power play opportunity. One that I think, AJ, you even said it right as the power play started. You're like, great, the Avs get another split power play.
Mm-hmm.
This is stupid. But the Avs are able to convert it in period because of that faceoff win.
Yeah, and you lose that faceoff, you have no chance. There's no chance for you to make any kind of a play. So it's why we talk about situational.
Yeah,
they matter.
And for me, like, I'm going to tell you something right here. Like, the play of the game is that goal on the power play. I know you're going to say, oh, my God, Connor scores a shorty. No, I get that. Shorties are, man.
Not something you can rely on,
you know
for
what
sure.
I mean? Exactly. But I'll tell you one thing. I have hockey no-nos. Tiff, you can write that down. Hockey no-nos, that's a no-no. As a coach, you give up a goal. As a team, you give up a goal in the last minute, it's usually deadly. It's a deadly goal. And you look back at the end of the game and you're like, oh, wow, that was the play of the game. So Carolina made a big no-no there. First of all, committing that infraction. That leads to a power play with 19 seconds to go in the period. All of a sudden, they win the draw. Right, Joe? Next thing you know, they score with, 5 seconds or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That is a no-no. And then you look back at that game, Brendan Moore's going to look back and say, oh, God. It's a different feeling. You go up 1-0 on the road against a good team like the Avalanche. It's a different feeling than a 1-1 tie.
Well, and I mean, look what happens on that goal. They win the faceoff. You give Nathan McKinnon an opportunity to be the best player in the world. And he,
Not even the first opportunity.
Right.
'Cause they win the faceoff. I don't remember who it was on Carolina, but they were slow to get out on Cale.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Makar walked in and had all the time in the world to do what he wanted. He misses the net. Lehky gets that puck and gives it to McKinnon, who puts Jacob Slavin into the spin cycle.
Yep.
And, Ryan Johansson very deftly gets into open space, but also turns you watch him. Before the puck gets there, intentionally, he turns the skate out. I mean, that's like details. We talk about master the details. Well, that is such a good little thing that scores them a goal.
And those are the skills you learn, a guy who goes to that area a lot, a guy who understands how to play. Because you see guys that don't crash the net a lot. They'll go down there. They'll have their stick on the ice ready. But he's using his whole body to say, this puck is hitting me one way or another.
Well, I'm not bagging on Nathan McKinnon, but we know that from that angle, he does shoot wide quite a bit, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yep.
You're Ryan Johansson. You're 6'3". You're a big dude. You go stand right there just like that. Even if that was a
Gonna
pass
find a
from
lot
Matt,
of pucks.
but it could have been a shot, and it goes wide. It hits your pants and goes in.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of playing with world-class players. And you get that net front presence job, you should be able to produce. And I think he's producing right now, Johansson, on the power play, right? So,
Eric, I don't know if we've asked you this on the show yet.
Yeah.
Because AJ and I are very pro punch it in, header the puck into the net. If you belly bounce it in, they should all count.
oh, I agree.
Okay.
I mean, so
You're on team goals or goals.
oh, man, yes. And I've got a few taken away, like a couple comments, like, are you serious? Like, come on. I mean, like, even though you know what you're doing, you know.
I just remember that goal Colin Wilson had taken away a couple years ago.
Yeah, then it just goes off of his knuckles.
Clipped the top of his glove, and it was like a half-inch higher. It hits his wrist, and everybody's
counts.
good with it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
but you can't punch it. I know.
what was the difference? Yeah. Goals are goals. I'm all about don't kick it in. I think that's a fair argument. You don't want dudes with knives on their feet kicking at things.
Well, you got to remember, I played in an era where if your foot was in the blue,
It's not a goal.
A little different.
Unless you're
God,
Brett Hull.
and you feel unless you're Brett Hull, and the whole team goes on the ice. But you felt so bad. It's happened to me a few times. I'm like, oh God, you got a goal taken away because of me, because my foot's right there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so
hey,
sorry,
look,
man.
that feel still exists in modern hockey. It's the offside challenge.
No, I know, you're right. Yeah, the offside us was
the guy
blue
who's
paint,
offside
yeah.
is like,
I know.
Yeah, a fair balance though, because how many would-be offsides ended up in goals back then that you couldn't do anything about?
Yeah. Even up. Anyway, on that note, we are brought to you by Hero Bread. You can go get your Hero Bread today. Look, I won't lie to you. I love bread, but that also leads to some of this.
It's
going
so
on.
true. This dude came over to my house last year for New Year's
Ate
Eve
a whole
and ate our
sourdough
bread.
loaf by myself.
Incredible.
It's look, it's delicious. All right, how can you not love bread?
No judgment. It was just fun to watch.
Sourdough or Hero Bread does help with this though, because they have 0 grams of sugar per slice in their bread. So it's actually good for you, is what I would say. You got to go check it out. They have a bunch of other great stuff too. It's high in fiber and as well as ultra low net carbs. So
4 days ago, I did have some in my house.
Yeah?
Me and my son,
the good stuff.
and put brats in them. And
Ooh,
hot dog
yeah,
buns.
yeah,
That was
yeah.
outstanding.
They do have
That was
buns.
outstanding. I'm being honest. It was
There you
great.
go. You can get 10% off with code DNVR at hero.co, or you can also order it on Amazon. So should be available and ready for everyone. Go check it out if you haven't yet. Again, be sure to use that DNVR code over at hero.co. That's HERO.co to order your Hero Bread today. Get in on it. Use that. Use the code. Yeah, that's it. They also have a ton of protein as well. So if you're trying to get a little bulked up, look a little bit like Rod the Bod, Hero Bread. It's a choice for you.
It's hard to find protein in some stuff.
Seriously,
So it's why cheese sticks are great.
lots of protein.
Yeah, like string cheese.
I've never been a big fan
Love
of
string.
like drinking whey and all the crazy stuff,
Right, just
creatine and all
give me
that.
some string cheese
Yeah.
to really nudge us forward.
Also brought to you by MSU Denver. MSU Denver, a great place to either start your schooling in the college level or go back to school if you're like me and Tiff, who went around the first time and didn't go so well.
Didn't go so well.
You can go to MSU Denver to restart your schooling experience. They have over 90 majors, including the option to create your own curriculum. What's happening out there? Oh, there's a party bus parked outside. Crazy. Either way, go over to MSU. They have online as well as in-person classes, and you do a mix of both. If that's what you want to do with your curriculum, super awesome place. I really do enjoy hanging out on campus. It's literally right across the street from Ball Arena. So good deal there. You can get student parking for games too. Pro tip. Go check that out. Create your career and turn your dreams into reality at MSU Denver. 90 plus majors and 10 graduate programs with courses online, in person, or both. Learn more at msudenver.edu. Second period of this game. Logan O'Connor. Shorthanded goals in 3 straight games. I missed the graphic. Has it ever been done before? I know there were a bunch of 2s.
Sakic.
Sakic had 3.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Well, I guess he'll just have to get one in the next game and make it 4.
Yeah.
But
Start hacking away at some Sakic records. You're in pretty good
Franchise
company.
record. I think I saw the record. NHL record was 4, right? I'm trying to remember.
yeah, I
earlier.
don't know.
I saw a graphic earlier. I thought it was 4.
We talk about how shorties aren't really super sustainable, but we've talked a lot on the watch alongs with LOC about how this is kind of who he was at the AHL level. He was really good at this shorthanded goal thing. Is some of that kind of shining through this year? Let me ask you this. How much of this is an individual effort by LOC, and how much of this is all of the PK working correctly together to give him this opportunities?
Well, watch them. None of them are just LOC dudes.
Sure.
The first one is Cale rimming a puck.
Yep.
All the way around the boards, and just a horrible play by Vince Dunn.
Yeah.
And LOC just outskates him. And I would very much have liked to have done a video breakdown, but right now that's an issue for us.
Yeah.
But if you watch it, LOC is way low in the zone, and it's just a foot race that he wins. But it's a great rim around the boards from Makar because it was aggressive, but it wasn't like he just fired it down to the other end.
Just the right
He
pace.
gave LOC a chance, and LOC skated into it and made it count. And then the other,
you have Josh Manson.
Josh
making the play
Manson
along the
stepping up,
boards.
and then Cogs just tapping it ahead to him.
Yep.
And he's off to the races on a horrible play by Connor Bedard.
Yep.
So those are two that I think more than anything, it took massive breakdowns
For the other team as well.
from the other team, and this one was defended better than any of those by Carolina.
Yep.
And this one was, for my money,
Best
the
of the
best
bunch for sure.
the
yeah.
best all-around play by the Avs, but LOC was also under pressure.
Yep.
Probably the worst of the three goals.
Splits
'cause
two guys down the middle.
You really look at Kochetkov, and he needs
Getting
to have
beat
that
under the
save.
blocker
Yeah,
on the backhand side's tough.
he should
Yeah.
really have that. That was not a good finish. And it beats him.
When you're hot, and then
True.
his foot speed gives him that chance. Like you
Yep.
said, the American League level, you used to go watch him and get two breakaways and shorthanded breakaways a game. You know what I mean? And then he never been known for his finish, right? You know what I mean? Like he's,
Yep.
But right now he's finishing, and I do believe for me that's, there's pre-scouts out there. Every team watches. Don't think the next game that the Avs go on the road. What is it? The Island?
Yeah, it is the Islanders.
They'll have a pre-scout now. They're showing the
Don't
the
give
Avs
up a
PK,
shorthand.
and then what are you going to show? You're going to show this. You're going to show the 3 shorthanded goals in a row. How they created them. What AJ just went through with you, but it's pretty cool to see. But the one thing I take away from that is, in life, you do the right things, you get rewarded. You know what I mean? And I do believe him standing up for Cogliano, and the hockey gods somewhere are just like
Smiled on him a little
smiling
bit,
on him,
yeah.
and right there you saw that one. Like I said, it is a nice backhand move, but it's a save. The goalie, where he goes, he should have it. I'm not taking away anything right now because his foot speed in the middle was awesome. Everything, like I said, he's missed so many breakaways before that. It's nice to see him get rewarded. And I wish him a fourth one the next game. You know what I mean? So, but I do believe you do the right things, you get rewarded, and I think that's a perfect example of what you're seeing right now.
Yep. Now, unfortunately, the PK did not stay perfect tonight. They did give up one in the second period there. That was the third goal for Carolina, so we'll get to that in a second. But interesting game. The Avs do end up giving up 2 goals after scoring that shorty. They trail in the second period of this game. First of all, the PQ goal was first. I was wrong. My bad.
Brett Burns.
Yep. I don't want to stand too much on this because, again, I think we're all super big fans of Georgiev's first 5 games. But we've seen Georgiev struggle with these a lot. Kind of those shots from a little bit further out, a body in front. On that one, he gets caught trying to find the puck on the wrong side of the body in front of him. Is this a big deal, or is this a, hey, whatever, he didn't play his best tonight, but the Avs won, so it's fine?
Yeah, I don't. The frustration for me was the sequence of events that led to the penalty in the first place, where Carolina gets away with 2 very obvious, obvious,
and then the Avs get
infractions.
called for the exact same thing.
Yeah, and the Avs get called for also an obvious infraction, but that one got called, and you were like, come on, because one of them, it was Brent Burns interfering with Miles Wood on what likely would have been a breakaway.
Yep.
And then Brent Burns he scores that goal, and
the
it
other
was
one is-
that was my frustration.
Sure.
I don't mind. I really don't have a problem with Georgiev on that goal because he's fighting around the screen, and it's a good screen. And he, a goalie is trying to fight through a screen. You've got to find a place to find the puck.
Yep.
You can't just stand there and hope that somebody moves out of your way. You have to look around a guy, and we saw he moves his head to the right.
The wrong side.
He moves his head to the right a little bit, and that just gives him a little bit of that tilt, and the shot comes in short side. So, if he save it? If he looks to the left of Kotkaniemi, I don't know. Maybe, but he moved to that right. It gave him enough space. It's a good finish by Burns. I really don't have any issues there. I think that's probably, again, I think that's just a good play by Carolina.
Okay, fair enough. Next goal, kind of a weird play because it did feel a bit unlucky for Colorado's side. but not the best shift in the world from the Avs top guys. McKinnon has a puck that should be out of the zone that he just gets muscled off of, something you don't see happen to Nathan McKinnon very often. That allows them to continue possession. Then McKinnon kind of tries to make up for it by blocking a shot, but when you block a shot, pucks go weird places. Comes right to Michael Bunting in front of the net. And the Avs are trailing 3-2.
That just feels shitty, man. Like, McKinnon, again, it wasn't a great shift, but he's doing the right things. He blocks the shot.
Yep.
What you want him to do. And then it goes right to Bunting, and Georgiev's already down. So all he does is, it's a nice play by Bunting, but, just gathers it in and puts it where Georgiev isn't. And
so if you go 1-2-3 right now, Georgiev's not really at fault, right?
No.
You see what I'm saying? It's one of those nights that, I do believe that Burns shot is like a CNI shot, right? It finds its way in, and then maybe you'll get to the fourth one, but, that's Slavo. Maybe we didn't like it, and I'm sure he didn't like it. Yeah. But other than that, it's one of those nights, and I thought he made some timely saves, especially that sequence of 3 saves earlier on in the game. He did that last game. He did that tonight. So, yeah, 4 is 4, right? He gave up 4 all year. He's giving up 4 tonight. Obviously, not his best night, but still came up with some timely saves.
And yeah, he gives up 4 tonight, but between him and his defense, the Avs never trailed by more than 1, right?
Exactly.
So they were always in the game.
Did not trail by 1 for long.
A grand total of 1 minute and 39 seconds.
There you go.
So they get it back very, very quickly. And this goal, I think, does feel like the one that broke this game open for Colorado. You get one from your fourth line. Freddie Olofsson gets on the board for Colorado. Feels good. It feels good to be able to get those depth goals out of Colorado's forward core this year at times. Great shot by Freddie. Not a ton to say there.
Really good play in the neutral zone to create it too.
Sure.
And then he just skates in, and
yeah,
it was such a quick shot that it went in and out, and everybody was kind of like,
did he score?
Well, he drops the left shoulder, right? And then he protects the puck. And then he's like, all right, I'll shoot it. And then he looked like a 40-goal scorer there. He didn't look like a fourth liner.
The protecting of the puck was key because he's selling that he's going to pass that puck the entire way, which is what keeps Brent Burns on the other side.
Yep.
Because he's got one defender.
Gives him the room to shoot.
He's got one defender on his back hip.
Yep.
And he's protecting the puck from that guy who's never actually getting that close to him, but he's not in a shooting position. So that keeps Burns on the other side, and it keeps the goaltender respecting.
Can't just fully commit to short side.
This guy's going to pass the puck. And then at the last second, he moves it to his forehand in that way, puts it into a shooting position, and then just picks a corner. Where he ended up shooting the puck, I'm not sure it would have made any difference.
Yeah.
But the process of it, like you said, that's not something that you see a fourth line guy do a whole lot of. So it's a really nice, really good finish, really nice play.
Hey, you picked the corner, it's a great shot. You missed the corner, it's a terrible shot, right?
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Well, and look, call it luck, call it whatever you want. We've talked a lot about Ben Myers. Those pucks don't seem to find their way in the back of the net for him. Scoring goals like that will lock down that fourth line job permanently pretty quickly for someone like Olofsson.
Yeah, and you can get good defensive play out of a guy, but you need production. Like there's a reason Ben Myers isn't here.
Yep.
And it was because last year they got his defensive play was fine.
Just couldn't get any points.
It was pretty good, to be honest with you, for his role.
Yep.
But not being able to generate points, and the 3 goals in the last week of the season did not artificially boost it enough for everybody to forget how last year went for that guy. So for Frederick Olofsson to get a goal that early on, it's great. That's great for him, but the Avs needed it tonight too.
Yep.
It took a little while for the guys for the bigger guys to get going, and that ties the game. It stops the momentum that Carolina had built up with 2 quick goals.
Well,
big time.
Momentum's the right word there because that second period felt like it swung to Carolina, and then they score that goal and it hard swings back to the Avs side
because LOC was shorthander.
Yep.
2-1. Everybody's place is jumping.
Yep.
Then they score a power play goal. Then they get another one, and you're like, oh God,
here we go.
What's up with it? Like this disappeared quickly. Olofsson scores, and then you're like, we're right back.
Yeah.
And then oh boy,
and then they
go from there.
Avs put the pedal all the way to the floor here. Power plays of their own. The Avs do go 3 for 5 on the power play tonight. PK's been so good for them as the power play that really showed up in this one. Cale Makar. Not too bad at entering the zone himself, is he?
I mean, I wish they would have shown that replay there. you know, everybody's playing for that slingshot, right? You know, like I'm telling you, McKinnon is behind Georgiev. And I think like everyone is like expecting the puck to go there. And Cale's like, whatever. I'll just carry it in. And then, of course, he dances over the blue line, goes in, and then makes magic with the puck and goes around and embarrasses the guy and then makes the play across. But for me, it's the 20 seconds before. Just to read that, okay, this guy may be a little too low because he's playing the slingshot. All right. But, I mean, how tough can that be? Pick your poison, right? If you're Carolina, you're like, do I take care of McKinnon? Do I take care of Makar? The guy picked the wrong guy. He picked McKinnon there, gave the lane to Makar, and then
and all
most
that
valuable player in the league.
And I don't want to skip over giving credit here because all that fancy work, all that amazing high-level skill from Makar creates the play. Johansson shoots a puck, gets a rebound, and it's Arturi Lehky in a good spot on the ice to finish up a play like that.
Yeah, and with the Makar thing, this is the second goal that the Avs have scored on a power play this season where the team was overcommitted to defending the drop pass to McKinnon.
Yep.
Because they got one in LA as well.
Yes.
And you're seeing they have been more willing to just take what's in front of them. And I think there's two things at play here. One, the Avs have probably said, hey, to Makar and a guy, especially Makar, but also Rantanen has done it a few times.
Yep.
If you see an opening, just go.
Yep.
Just go with it. The point of this is to get inside the zone with control of the puck so we can set it up. It's so from Makar there, that's just taking what's given.
Yep.
And two, Carolina scores a lot of shorthanded goals every year.
Yep.
They play very aggressively in the neutral zone, especially to create those kinds of turnovers and get it going the other way. So you have both of those factors. Teams are overcommitting to McKinnon. McKinnon is one of the very best, one of the two best players in the world
at doing that,
at getting a zone entry on a power play like that. So you have a team that likes to defend aggressively on the PK, defend in the neutral zone, and you have a guy that is known for this skill in particular. All of that creates the perfect storm. Cale just takes what's there and then uses that unbelievable skill level of his, because once he gets into the zone, fine. But the move that he makes to get into the center of the ice and cause the PK to collapse in on him, that's the special stuff. And then, Johansson, Lehky, all of that is just, that's good hockey.
Yep.
But you're seeing teams are overcommitting to the McKinnon drop pass, and they're getting burned on it a little bit. And this is where this power play unit is going to cause problems.
It's a natural evolution, right? The drop pass has been a thing for half a decade now in the NHL. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
And so you see the defenses learn, okay, we can cut off that drop pass if we leave our forward high and play aggressive.
Yeah.
And then, at least for teams like the Avs who have the talent to do this, you say, all right, if you do that, we just go.
Yeah.
What goal was that again? That was goal number
4 for Colorado.
So again, look at the two power play goals, timely goals, right? End of the first 5 seconds, and then this one.
Yep.
That makes you go up, right? I mean, like your power play comes deadly, like the first game, right? The power play game against LA.
Yep.
So the power play's been, there's timely saves as a goalie, but there's timely goals as PP. I think their PP has been really timely this year.
Well, and then their next goal, which comes less than 2 minutes later, is the flip opposite of that, right? Nichushkin and Lehky get in on a forecheck. They do all the hard work. Lehky throws it up and out to McKinnon in the slot, and McKinnon just beats a goalie.
Yeah, this is one of those ones from Kochetkov that you're looking at like...
Probably should have stopped it, for sure.
There were 3 from Kochetkov tonight that got by him that I thought, these shouldn't be happening.
And I mean, I will give McKinnon some credit here. He shoots that puck in the perfect spot. It's literally that high over the pads. But
where does the puck come from?
Yeah.
Behind the net. He's got to read that, get into the center of his net, and get out high on it. It's not an easy save by any means, but that finish is not. It's not like bar down where you're like, oh my God. Yeah, hey, all goals are easy when you shoot where the goalie isn't, right? Yep. And McKinnon he finishes it. It's on the goaltender to make that play, and he doesn't make it.
Yep. And the other side of this, they did put McKinnon with Nichushkin and Lehky specifically as a line. Are we a fan of this?
Yeah, I'm a fan of anything. You know what I mean? Honestly,
you're a fan of Nathan McKinnon. Full stop.
I do. I mean, I think it's a treat to play with world class players, and when you get put, what Megan called it yesterday, the Blednar or whatever. Like
the Blednar.
I think it's awesome. I don't mind that because You're going to run into problems through the season. You're going to run into problems throughout playoffs. And again, I'll knock on wood here. You're going to go through some injuries. And so you're going to need different combinations. And I think it's important to get accustomed to to new guys, to different players, to different styles of guys. And I thought it was a great goal there by McKinnon. And, obviously Val's forecheck and then Lehky, and awesome goal. It's an awesome goal. So, I mean, it's nice to see that guys play with different guys and get rewarded. I like that. I just wish we would have seen that a little bit from Drouin or, guys like that.
For
just
sure.
to give them confidence, It just didn't happen. But again, it's early in the season, so.
Then the Avs add one more power play goal here. This one's not super fancy. You win a face-off, you get it back to Mikko. This one really, I think, was the one you're looking at Kochetkov for.
Yeah.
Look, Mikko's a great shooter, but that's not a shot that should go in the back
You
of
ask
the net.
Mikko, he's like, that seriously is the one that went in?
You're right.
That's the one that went in? He missed like 3 empty nets later on?
But then again, you score 50, 60. That's how you score, right? Those guys, he sees a lane. He knows, I tried that. I probably hit 4 bodies and, what I mean? And it's like, oh my God, what is he doing? But a guy like that, you score 60. It's like, well, that's why you score 60,
But all this, a period of efficiency for Colorado, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
You look at the numbers and you probably don't love on paper how it played out as far as possession metrics and things like that. Shots 16-8 on goal.
Yeah.
So in Carolina's favor.
Yeah.
But you know what? When you're putting pucks in the nets, you don't have a lot of follow-up opportunities because you already scored, right? So maybe some of that's at play too. I don't know.
Look, you took advantage of a guy having a bad night. A
Yep.
team in Carolina that has just been giving up more goals than they are accustomed to. They're not a comfortable team in shootouts. Regardless of what the last week has brought them, that's not a hockey team that is very comfortable in those situations, and it looks like it.
Yep.
Agree.
And also they're tired. It's been a long trip for them.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of things happening, and this is a really hard schedule for Carolina to start the season.
They got one more. They got to
Yeah.
go to Tampa.
Yeah.
7-game road trip against some good teams.
Oof.
It's tough.
Yeah,
tough
well, and
ask.
all over the place too. It's not
Yeah.
like they've just been exclusively out on the West Coast.
Right.
They've been bouncing around, and then to finish, go from Colorado to Tampa Bay, and then home for your first.
That's
It's
tough.
a brutal schedule to open the season. If Colorado had to go through that, we'd be apoplectic.
That's when you bet against Carolina
Yeah.
on their
Oh,
home
yeah.
game and that home game.
Yeah, because it's essentially the eighth
a-
road game.
I talked about it last game. It's a fact. I don't care what people say. It's a tough one. For you people that are betting out there, like, look for games like that. Teams that have been on a road trip, you look at that game. It's a factor.
Well, the Avs are heading out back on the road after this game, but maybe you're an East Coast Avs fan and you want to catch them on the East Coast swing. Game Time is the way you can get your tickets. You can get Game Time to use, or rather, you can use Game Time to get tickets to pretty much anything going on local to you. It doesn't even have to be sports necessarily. If you want to go to the theater or get concert tickets, any event going on, Game Time has you covered. And you can go use code DNVR to get $20 off your first purchase with Game Time. They make a ton of amazing deals over there. You can wait for last minute tickets and get great prices no matter where you want to go. The seats are always great. They do this thing where you can pick the section of seats you want, and Game Time will pick the seats, but it'll save you a ton of money, an average of 18% savings. So if you're not too worried about where you sit, you can do something like that to save a good chunk of change. And if you do find tickets cheaper than what are available on Game Time, they will credit you 110% of the difference. So they guarantee you will get good seats for a great price over at Game Time. Go check them out. Download the Game Time app today. Create an account and use that DNVR code to get 20% off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but get that $20 off with code DNVR over on the Game Time app. Lowest price guaranteed. Also brought to you by Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR, which if you're not going to the game, come on down to the bar. Come hang out with us. Have a good time. We got 8 different kinds of Breck brews on tap. They got a flavor for everybody. Highly recommend. If you're not local, you can still find your Breck brew at your local liquor store. Use the Breck beer locator online at breckbrew.com and go get yourself some. Third period of this hockey game. And I really like this third period. Not
Love it.
because it was particularly interesting. It was actually quite a boring period, but that's my point. That's a good thing when you're up 3 goals in a hockey game. Colorado really did not give Carolina much at all in this third period. AJ, you were talking about it. At what point do teams start going, man, this team is a tough out in third periods?
Well, and you need to have a start like this in order to build that kind of reputation. It's not like people are looking at Colorado thinking it was going to be an easy road anyway.
Sure.
But teams are looking at Colorado and thinking, hey, we got some on them last year.
Yep.
Especially in third periods,
Yep.
there were
some comebacks. Yep.
Yeah, the Avs had to go to the shootout a lot last season. They really relied on points coming beyond regulation to get them where they ended up in the standings. And another third period like this where in all situations Carolina musters 5 shots on goal.
That's nothing.
6 scoring chances in a game that they are losing.
Yep.
And there's it's always they're going to turtle, they're going to whatever, this and that. The Avs also had 6 scoring chances, had 8 shots on goal, and high danger chances were 4-4. So you probably don't love that you gave up 4 high danger chances to Carolina, but you created 4.
Yep.
You didn't score on any of them, but
you didn't need to.
You're not sitting in your own net or you're in your own end, just
giving up 20 shots on goal.
packing it in front of your own net, just letting a shooting gallery happen where, sometimes that goes poorly.
Yep.
Well, I was looking at the post-game notes there. Like, Brendan Moore was not very happy with his crew in the sense that he's like, hey, we got to get 20 guys on the same page. And that's, I think, what's been the difference. Where the Avs for most nights and most sequences and games have had 20 guys on the same page. Yeah. That doesn't mean that they had a success or they produced, for example, like Drouin, but I'm using him, for example.
Sure.
But somewhere, somehow, they found their game, the Avalanche. And Carolina's a good team. We talked about it before the game. A lot of people are picking them to come out of the East.
Yeah, they're still
the
still top team to win the cup from the East.
And Bednar talked about it this morning at his presser, too. Like, it's tough to get on the road to start the season and, find your game. The Avs did.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Carolina has not. And then I did look 2 seconds ago, and I hate to say it, but Detroit Red Wings, Kurt Mulvey, he's got the record with 4 games.
So LOC needs one more.
Yeah.
LOC needs one more.
So that's who that is. He ties Joe for the franchise.
For the Avs, yeah.
Same sentence to be when you're in the same sentence as Joe Sakic's pretty good.
You're doing something
franchise
okay.
record. That's been awesome.
You're doing something all right.
So it is something special what LSC is doing, but Mulvey's the guy that's got the record with 4.
Yep. And just to officially cover everything, Avs do give up 1 goal in that third period. I think we all agree it wasn't great from Georgiev, but who cares? I made the game 6-4 with like 7 minutes left.
Those shots from distance continue to be his real. That's the one thing that you see beat him where it's not a bad shot. It's not like, oh my God, what was that? But it was, to me, it wasn't like an incredible finish. And he wasn't fighting through a ton of traffic. It's just, it's not a great shot and it beats him. And you know what? It's fine.
Well, Megan's not here right now. We'll speak for her. She would say that Georgiev's such a nice guy that he's letting the hometown guy, Slavin, score at home in front of his parents. So that's okay. That's fine.
But like, I think you're kind of both on the track here of, it's not a goal from Georgiev you love. If this was a 3-2 game, I think you have a big problem with that goal.
You're disappointed.
But in a game that's 6-3, okay, man, whatever.
Yeah, if you're going to have a sub 900 save percentage in a game, one which your teammates score 6 goals for you is fine.
Yep, exactly.
This is literally how Pavel Francouz won like half of his games.
Yep. Getting the goal support, baby.
Yeah, just incredible goal support where you're like, all right, well, things didn't go great here.
But it's fine.
Yeah. It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
So
doubles the number of goals given up on the season for him.
Yeah.
Is
8 in 5 games. What a bum.
Yeah. Just a less than 2 goals per game average. That's all.
Not bad.
That includes like an overtime too.
Yeah. And
is perfect in the shootouts. 3 for 3. Yeah. I see Chad talking about it. Yeah, Bo is taking way too many penalties. No two ways around that one. It's got to stop.
His third multi-penalty game of the season in 5 games. He has penalties in 4 of the 5.
And you can see it's frustrating him because he takes that one today and he's like, oh, he's back. Because it's been talked about. Pratt or, Nolan Pratt, the D coach, or, Bednar. I've talked about it. Again, I think he's playing that one right. He's playing hard, and then his stick just gets in the wrong, does the old can opener, the guy falls down. It's just like, oh, God, here we go again.
Well, and it gets reflected a little bit in time on ice tonight.
Yep.
Because I know there were a lot of penalties called and stuff, but 14 minutes of time on ice for Byram. Not much.
Yep.
It's pretty low. Jack Johnson, 12:54. Byram's pair, or his partner.
Yep.
And Sam Girard. Sam Girard played 21-16.
Yeah, so that's a significant demotion there for Bo's side of that.
And Sam's not even playing on the power play right now, right?
Yep.
He's not. He's making up all that time on the
penalty
PK.
kill.
That's it.
Yeah, where tonight Johnson and Byram both played.
Well, Byron was in the box for 2 of the penalties.
Yeah, and I think they combined for like 59 seconds of shorthanded time on ice.
They need more than that out of those guys on the PK. Yeah.
Do they? PK's
I guess
rolling,
man. They did give up
and
their first PK goal. I'm just saying.
I love
you
Sammy.
tried to blame it on Georgiev like 20 minutes ago, man.
But I'll be Sammy's biggest defender all year. If anybody want to attack me, it's fine. You get that kind of, he's been great for 5 games, and I think we're going to continue to see some good job.
For what it's worth, Byram did get a point tonight. So
Yeah, well, like I said, great play in the neutral zone to move that puck.
Yeah.
On the Olofsson goal, it starts with Byram.
That's right.
So
activate.
Again, like if you're going to make a mistake, do something on the other end. McKinnon, not a very good shift. That helps lead to a goal against to the third Carolina goal.
Comes back and makes up for it.
Makes up for that, and if you're making up for it on the scoreboard,
it's all good.
You're breaking even.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. Like that's.
Hey, you play 25 minutes a night, you're gonna make a mistake. You're gonna make a bonehead play. It's everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Last thing I want to touch on, 2 sides of this. 3-point night for Arturi Lehkonen. Arguably should be a 4-point night.
It is 4 now. It got changed.
Did they give it to him? Okay.
Yep. They added Lehkonen and Makar assists.
Yep. So 2-point night for Makar too. Then.
Yep.
4-point night for Lehkonen. That's the type of depth scoring that you love to see out of Colorado. You're not going to get it to that level most nights, but the fact that it's there, you also get a goal from your 4th line. You feel pretty darn too, I guess. Shorthanded is the weird whatever, but you feel really good about your forward depth. Except you gotta start getting some production from your 3rd line, right? It's got to come eventually.
Yeah, and of course we say this. They had a goal taken off
away.
the board.
Yeah, sure.
Are we having that same conversation if that goal stands?
Right.
Maybe not.
But Ross Colton and Jonathan Duran, Miles Wood, those guys got their head kicked in terms of underlyings tonight. The shot metrics are bad. And to the eye, they just did not look like they had a very impactful game.
Yep.
And that happens sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So yes, you would like to see them start to get on the board, but
at the end of the day, the Avs won 6-4.
Right. And now when you're 5-0, we're drilling down into
you're
the
nitpicking real
line
hard.
specifically needs to produce when you have gotten 2 goals from your 4th line. You got a Ryan Johansson goal. Like your guys not named McKinnon and Rantanen also scored plenty tonight.
Yep.
But it's not that bad, like you said, because you think about it, they do score that big goal, and I know it's an empty netter, but they still make the right play out of their own end.
Sure.
Right? Because if you don't, puck ends up in your net. Next thing you know, you're in the ball game, right? Mm-hmm. So there's that, and then the offside goal. So you know what I mean. So you're like, it's not that bad, but I agree.
You're talking they should have had goals in 2 of 5 games.
Exactly.
Well, you even look at tonight, and I know the underlines weren't very good, but it's not like there were no chances there. Druin had a great chance from the middle of the ice.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple of plays where you're seeing like, okay, there's something there.
We saw Miles Wood attempt to beat Jonathan Duran while Duran was in front of the net, and it was like, y'all need to switch.
Yeah. Got it backwards a little bit on that
It's gonna
one.
come. It's gonna come.
I'm sure you can get plenty of bobbleheads of the guys that played today for the Avs, scored a bunch of points over on FOCO. Get over to FOCO.com today. Use the DNVR code, get 10% off. Of course, you get bobbleheads for all major sports teams here in the States, but you can also get licensed apparel. a bunch of knickknacks, and all sorts of other memorabilia from FOCO. So they have a bunch of cool stuff. I can't even explain some of the stuff they have. You just got to go check it out and see it for yourself. I'm sure you'll find some cool thing that you think is super dope. Even if you're not an Avs fan, they've got your team covered. All sports, all the major stuff here in the States. Again, that's foco.com. Use the DNVR code to get 10% off. All right, I think we're winding this one down. We're actually going to finish a show before tomorrow, boys. It's a good win for us. We do have some super chats here. $2 from Vaguely Sober, who says, Bo Byram, officially a hockey criminal. Becoming a repeat offender really quick here.
Yeah.
Gotta get clean, Bo. Gotta get out of the pokey. Yeah, that's a word for prison, right? Cody gives us $10 and just says boobs. Thank you.
All right.
Well said.
And then $20 from Chad, who says MIT Metro in town. Is that, I guess that's like an MSU meme that they're MIT. Either way, thank you for the $20, Chad. Appreciate it very much. That's all I got. Anything else you guys wanted to touch on tonight's game?
5-0, man.
What else can you say?
5-0, and you're going on a hard road trip.
Yep.
You're going to play a lot of good teams on this road trip, and that's not going to be an easy one. So
And guess what? We won't be watching hockey at midnight.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
some normal
How
clock
nice is this guy
games.
gonna be?
it's
Even though it's a
only-
little late Tuesday in the island, it's at 6 p.m. I mean,
it's 5
so
here.
it's 8. It's 8. No, it's 6 here. I think.
Is it
Is
6
it
here?
8 there?
8 over there. I
Oh,
mean,
Tuesday's
don't
the
quote
weird
me.
day where
Yeah.
all the different games.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah. It's the whole
So I
league,
do
yeah.
believe it's 6 here,
Yeah.
8 there, but still 6 is better than
Yeah.
8:30, 9 o'clock.
Way better.
Like last
I'm going to be
week.
getting here at 4 o'clock like I have been, except it's not going to be way, way, way early.
Oh, we're getting a little treat Tuesday. We're going down
Oh,
the street.
the treat is Sunday for the 11 o'clock start, baby.
Oh,
Oh,
next
next
Sunday.
yeah.
Oh, my
with
God.
buffalo
dude.
wings
Yep.
for us.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Oh,
Buffalo.
yeah,
Yep.
baby.
Yep.
That is going to do it for us. We are off Sunday. We're also off Monday. No Avs practice, so there will be no real Avs news as they're traveling to New York. But we appreciate all of y'all hanging out with us, enjoying the Avs with us. We will be back Tuesday. We'll also have tons of post-game content coming your way tonight and maybe some other videos on our day off. So keep it locked to thednvr.com. Consider becoming a diehard and supporting us today, or at very least, give us a like and subscribe here on YouTube so you don't miss any of us going live. We appreciate y'all, and we will talk to y'all tomorrow.
We all silly like the mayor.